Hey church, this is Mary Benton, and I am here to share with you about the spiritual discipline of prayer. And it's kind of ironic to me that I was asked to share about prayer because I don't consider myself a prayer warrior. I have ADD, and praying is and always has been very difficult for me. And so I can tend to feel like I'm a failure at praying. I lose track, I forget things I want to pray about, and sometimes I leave feeling like I just haven't been with God at all. And this has been a struggle for a long time for me. And at times I actually got to think, you know what, I am not as spiritual as other people because I can't get this prayer thing down. But then I remember that even Jesus' disciples who grew up with constant prayer around them still needed to learn how to pray. And so Jesus gave them a way to pray that he used and which I use from time to time that you find in Luke 11. But even that always doesn't feel right for me. So I thought I would just kind of share with you some of the ideas and strategies that I use that are impactful for me in prayer. First of all, prayer is about relationship with God, right? Developing an intimacy with him that is constant and growing. But I need to remember that this is about God and me. And it's separate, individual, it's personal to me. My prayers and my prayer times shouldn't look like anybody else's because my relationship with God is not like anybody else. It's for me to communicate, to commune, and just be with God. And therefore, I can make this whatever I want to make it so that I can feel that I am in God's presence. That means for me, my time in prayer doesn't look the same every day. And I think I've come to decide that that's okay. I have a whole variety of different prayer strategies that I use. And they don't require me to sit for a long period of time and close my eyes and focus. And I know so many of you can do that, and I think it's awesome, and I wish I could. But it doesn't work for me. And so here's some different ways that I try to incorporate different strategies into prayers. My first one is praying through passages of Scripture. The Psalms work really well for this. And for me, my favorite is Psalm 23. And after reading this for a while, once I even drew this whole scene that I thought and put in specific words and drew the whole scene, and it brought my prayer to life. And it added such a great meaning. So I've done that with other passages as well. I have kept different prayer lists for different days. I always feel like I forget something or someone when I pray. So sometimes I'll set up a week, and Monday I'll pray for my family and the lost. Tuesday I'll pray for the world. Wednesday I'll pray for those who are sick and those who are struggling, and so on and so on. You can figure out however it works for you. But when I pray this way, I don't feel like I've left out something that's important to me. And I also don't get repetitive. I pray through the Shema, which the Jews recited in morning and evening as a declaration of their loyalty to God. It's always the same scriptures. It's Deuteronomy 6, 4 through 9. Sometimes I just sit in silent, very contemplative prayer. Sometimes I light a candle, or I put on quiet music, or I will wrap myself in a prayer shawl, but I don't pray out loud. Instead, I sit and listen for the Spirit. And I try to empty my heart so that God can fill it with the things he wants me to be thinking about. Sometimes I write out prayer journals, and I just will write my prayers out. And for some reason, when I do that, I don't run out of things to say. And I don't repeat because I can look back and see what I've already done. Other times, I will pray throughout the day with breath prayers. And Ruth Haley Barton wrote a book called Sacred Rhythms, and she defines this as short phrases that arise from desire and need. In other words, gut prayers. Some examples that I have and I use throughout the day are: God, have mercy on me. Here I am, Lord, do what you will. Father, help me find peace. God, you're all I need. Guide my heart, Lord. Just those short bits of prayer that I can just pull up any time of the day and that help my heart get refocused and re-anchored on God. There are times when I pull out my markers and blank paper and I just doodle as I talk to God. And for me with ADD, this helps me actually to focus. And occasionally my doodling ends up in a really beautiful prayer that's written out in markers. Walking prayers take me out of the house and help me feel like I'm walking with God. As I mentioned, I don't do the same thing every day. I try to keep my prayer life honest and simple so that I can be fully present with God. When something doesn't seem to be hitting my heart, I change to a different style and listen for God to intercede and touch my heart and my thoughts and my emotions. I found that what is best for me is not necessarily what's best for anybody else, and that's okay. Prayer should be stress-free, and by keeping it intentional but still spontaneous, I find myself truly, truly feeling like I'm one with God and that our relationship is constantly growing. I hope this has helped you, and I hope you find your perfect prayer strategies.